Superbly finished.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, this is Andy Barwell at the BBC Sports Centre. West Ham United got their first points of the season with a 2-0 success at home to Huddersfield Town in Monday night's game. Jonathan Pearce was there.
Crucially for West Ham United, a game they have won, a first victory of the season. No wonder Slaven Bilic is smiling, a smile born of relief. Relief given him by a deflected goal, Obiang scoring after 72 minutes, and 4 minutes later a poacher's goal by the substitute Ayew. 2-0, Huddersfield, conservative, a little bit naive, a little bit raw, newcomers. Their poorest performance of the season so far, I would say. Beaten by 2 goals to nil.
Well, early in the day, Frank de Boer was sacked as manager of Crystal Palace after 4 Premier League games and 4 defeats. De Boer says he was disappointed with the club's decision. Well, Steve Crossman has this report.
He came to Crystal Palace with an idea of how he wanted to play. He wanted this 3-4-3 system. That was what he thought was going to be the way forward for Crystal Palace. But the reality is he hasn't had the players that fit into that system. So he's been sticking to that, perhaps rigidly, some might say. I wonder what Crystal Palace fans would have to say about that. But ultimately, he hasn't had the personnel to play the way he wanted to play. So do you blame the man and say that he should have changed things and worked with the players he had? Or do you blame the club and say, listen, 77 days is not enough?
The former Crystal Palace and England midfielder John Solarco worked as a first-team coach under Alan Pardew at Selhurst Park. He says the club's hierarchy have panicked.
I spent some time in around the owners, the American owners, because they're American. They don't have relegation in their leagues. And here, the business model they bought into, although they saw Palace as a cheap buy as a Premier League club, that getting relegated is just not an option.
And we understand that the former England boss Roy Hodgson is set to become the next Crystal Palace manager. And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.